Essex Business Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Elliot Browne here in the Essex Business Radio studio. We're here with Craig Childs and Charlie Groves. How you doing, guys?
Good, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
And thanks very much for coming in. We met a little while ago, didn't we? So, do you know when the hell was that? That was at a networking thing, wasn't it? In
Brentwood.
In Brentwood, wasn't it? Which was summer. It was a nice evening.
Yeah,
You don't fucking remember, do you?
It was the circle. Was it the circle?
It was, yeah, something like that.
Circle.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I didn't really.
I vaguely remember.
It wasn't that heavy a night, was it? It got a little bit heavier actually after that. That sort of started the evening off quite well, to be honest. Your business, guys. What's your business called?
Elite Business.
Elite Business Funding, and tell me very quickly, and we're going to get off the subject and find out a little bit more about you two. But this show is in my Fireside Chat, right? So you come here, sit fireside here at the Forge, and we get to know the people behind the business. It's usually the person behind the business. You are the first time that I've had two people in to have a chat.
Oh,
so congratulations.
Double
Good to be a
team,
first.
Congratulations. No, well, listen, we got on straight away, and I loved your business and your story. But yeah, so what does Elite Business Funding do? Tell me what you do.
Well, we're commercial finance specialists.
Yeah.
So we basically help small, medium, large companies source the right finance they need for whatever business requirement, whether it be to refinance and reduce their monthly outgoings, or if they want to grow and expand.
Yeah,
it's basically what we do.
Working capital, purchase machinery, vehicles.
Yeah.
So pretty much anything with regards to having a funding requirement for working capital and for growth.
And when you first started up, and we'll come back to how that sort of got going. But when you first started up, you dealt with a lot of startups, didn't you? Startup.
Yeah.
But now you've got people on your books that you're doing sort of quite big deals with, right?
Yeah, it's quite varied. I mean, it's funny how we sort of started off with startup businesses and businesses that hadn't been trading long for about sort of 12 to 24 months, and it was quite interesting because we'd only been going that sort of time ourselves.
Sure.
So even though we'd been doing it for a number of years, it was quite. We sort of see the other side of it, so we'd been involved in it ourselves.
Yeah. So I'm going to take it. We're going to go rewind, right? We'll have to go back a good few years. You're both young guys, so we haven't got to go back too far.
Well, one of us.
Listen, you're both younger than me, so. But you both had an interest in sports when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
And I believe Craig, you literally did a sports science degree. Was that right?
Yeah.
Was it a degree?
No, it wasn't a degree actually.
Oh, okay.
I studied it
Not
at
that
college.
good.
No, that good. No. I discovered drinking and
I got out of it.
That's it. Yeah.
So you did that at college, and but you did something very different at college, didn't you? More in tune with what you're sort of doing now, in a way. What did you do at college, university?
At college, I did further maths.
Wow.
A bit of accounting and graphic design. Then when I went to university, I did maths for finance and management. So it fits very well for what I'm doing now.
Mate, so you're great. Well, you're good with numbers. I'm assuming you're both good with numbers, but you're particularly good with numbers.
Not usually words, but numbers I can do. Yeah.
I do the words, he does the numbers.
Well, and we said before we started recording, we were having a chat, because I always like to have a chat with people and get to know them before we do the show, particularly if I don't know them. And I class you guys as new friends to the show, and I feel like we're going to know each other for many years to come. Already, I get that feel we're on the same page.
Same
but yeah, so, unfortunately, I don't know how bad that's going to be, but I think our nights out are going to be fun. So you're very much analytical. So you're quite an analytical guy, and numbers and things, and you're sort of more got that creative sort of flair as well. A great marriage in essence, really.
Yeah, definitely. He handles most of the marketing and sort of all our graphics and the website, etc.
Yeah.
And I handle our finance of our business, and then we both get involved with the day-to-day of helping our businesses.
Yeah, of course.
And it's great because everyone's got different views when you're looking at a particular company and their documents. So one thing I might see is he might not see, one thing he might see I not see. So it works well. It's always good to have someone there to discuss. And I'm a massive problem solver, so I like to solve problems. But sometimes you get too into it, and you need someone that's like, what about that?
You're losing track. Yeah. I get that.
It can be quite creative as well. As I say, sometimes with deals, the way they're structured, you need to get creative to
of course you do.
To find a way around it. You know, it's not always a case of we can just give out the money. Find a lender. It's a case of finding a lender that fits. What the business is actually trying to achieve. So, some of them may be storybook lenders rather than just looking at the figures on the accounts, for example.
So okay. So you've got that side, and then you came out of college. after doing the sports, and you sort of let's go with you first, Craig. I mean, you've gone from sports, and you had a sort of an interest in this area anyway, which you've got into. Charlie, I'm going to go with rather than Charles. But you sort of got into that sort of the financial side. You worked for Lloyd's, was that right?
Yeah. So I was when I was actually studying sports science, I was working part time at Lloyd's TSB in the card services in the fraud department.
In the fraud, I know. Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, so I was working there for a number of years and ended up going full time there.
Okay.
It was probably around about 2011, I think it was.
Right.
So 2001 it was.
Okay.
So yeah, so I started,
2001 was fucking 10 years out.
It's been that long now.
Show your obvious, didn't it?
So I started in the fraud department at Lloyd's, and then from there went into do a little bit of personal finance, so personal loans.
Right.
Didn't really enjoy that. Didn't really know sort of where I wanted to go at that stage. I'd already just had a big interest in sport, so wasn't really sure. Then went into card services.
Right.
So that's merchant services.
Yeah. Which is a fucking flooded market now. Merchant services, isn't it? Loads of people suddenly getting into it, and door knocking, fucking selling card machines. Basically, that's what they seem to be doing. Yeah, for sure. I know a few people that have done it. Think they're going to make some money. So there's loads of people out there doing it.
Very competitive. Yeah.
But back then, obviously, it wasn't so much, to be fair, was it? The market was, I suppose you had your big boys, but otherwise, all the shops were sort of getting into it. I mean, when you were sort of 2001, were you saying then, really? 2001?
Yeah, this was probably by about 2008, 2009, I think I was doing that.
You're both Essex, so this was around in and around Essex as well. You're both sort of born and bred Essex, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. We both worked for the same person at one point, wasn't it? First Data. Back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the merchant service side come in, obviously working there for Boss, so
yeah. And your journey to sort of get you into that, where did you come from when you sort of came out of your sort of college, university, Charlie?
So I had a gap year in between college and uni.
Oh, did you? What did you do?
That's where I worked First Data. Got some work experience. Wanted to do a bit of work. Okay. I'd always been studying. I wanted to earn some money and get some experience actually working. So that's when I've done some sort of activating credit cards, working for Santander within that. Okay. Credit cards, did balance transfers, etc. Yeah. And then went into university. Done the 3 years university, had a great time, come out, and I've always wanted to work with people's money and help them save money and sort of, again, find a solution to someone's problem, but help them do better, because that's where I get, that's what I like. I'm happy. I'm happy when I help people grow. So I'd done that. Then once I left university, I also wanted to travel. Yeah. So I was planning to just do like a gap year for a little while and just go and travel, but then I thought, I can get a job while I'm doing it. So I moved to Luxembourg for about 6 to 8 months.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was really good experience. Yeah. So financial hub of the world was of
course.
Like head offices and that with banks and companies there. So I thought it was going to be a great place to do. And it was. I had a great experience from it. Unfortunately, I had to come back to family bereavement, but then I fell into the place that we met, which was Boost Capital. Yeah. So everything happens for a reason, and
so your paths were sort of your similar routes. You were both picking up different bits of information and different sort of skill sets along the way, weren't you?
Yes.
Unknowingly, you were going to meet at Boost. Did you say they're still going? Yeah.
Yes.
At Boost Capital. So where was that? That was was it in London? Was it?
No, it's in Chelmsford.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so their office is, funny enough, around the corner from where we are now.
Oh, right, okay.
Stone throw.
Okay, yeah. And so what you see, did you immediately get on as soon as you sort of started there, working there? I mean, did you start at the same sort of time?
Funny, was in different departments. So I started, I think, about a week or two before Craig.
Right.
I went in, because I was working at doing personal wealth management.
Yeah.
So meetings, a lot of phone work, a lot of organising people. So I wanted to do something more analytical with my degree. So I went into underwriting for Boost. So I've been on the front line.
Interesting thing to understand as well, to be fair.
It was great. And I actually felt like I was using a lot more of my degree. And it's what I wanted to do, essentially. Even though you can still help people out when you're speaking to them on the phone, but doing the back end really helps.
Let's explain for people who don't understand. I mean, in the financial industry, and it's a regulated industry and things like that. So if you're underwriting, a little bit like insurance, and people who know probably more about underwriters in insurance, but you also get underwriters for finances. And in essence, it's the person that fucking signs the thing going, yes, we're going to lend the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they decide how much you can get, what rate you can get, what best terms you can get. Yeah. So you've got to look at what's not only beneficial for the client, but beneficial for the company. Yeah. You just decide on whether they can get a loan or not.
And if they're going to lend the money.
Yeah, exactly. So Charlie, you were sort of picking up that information. That's great. I mean, from obviously learning that for the business now is imperative. And what department were you in, Craig? What were you doing?
So I was in the sales department. Okay. So I come in as a relationship manager.
Yeah.
So my role was obviously on the front end, at the front line, speaking to clients, obviously finding out what it is that they was looking for, why they needed the funding, you know, and then obviously from there trying to structure a deal and, you know, obviously getting them to take the loan on if they needed it. So
and so come on then, how did the sort of relationship spark? Or did you want a night out, or was it like a works night out? And Chelmsford's a good night out though, isn't it, guys?
I
need to come out. We've got to go out to Chelmsford.
We'll take you out.
Oh, go on then, you smooth talking bastards.
I'll be at work. Well, how it actually transpired was always really good on. I mean, I think I funded your first deal when I was in underwriting. I actually helped get his first deal through. It was the client.
It's always a good way of establishing a relationship.
Well, I've come from primarily a sales background, so I wanted to get that deal through as much as anyone else. Primarily underwriters is against sales and they look at the risk and try to
of course,
but I was always positive looking ways to get a deal done. And that's why they headhunted me for sales. After 9 months, they're like, this guy's too positive. We need to get him out of the underwriting. He's going to make us lose money.
For sure. He's underwriting too much.
And then I moved over to sales and was there for the last 4.5 years of our
5 years together, wasn't it? So we're sitting next to each other for 5 years.
Well, you're going to get to know each other fairly well then, aren't you?
Exactly. So obviously we're the only two sales guys there for pretty much the whole stint. I mean, a few people come and went, but obviously we were always the consistents that stayed there. So. Well, you said it's quite a sociable industry. I know it is. So I'm assuming you were going out then, and you were going out quite a lot, and you know, with you know, would you have dealing? You wouldn't necessarily have been dealing with going out with people that were supplying finance to you at those days, would you?
No, we're always dealing with direct clients rather than dealing with brokers like ourselves now. So you had other people in our company that dealt with brokers, so they got to do that and went out. So we didn't go out too much. We went out ourselves and with the company, but not directly with sort of brokers or anything like that.
Sure.
So we were dealing with people that were coming to us direct, so they'll go on the website or however it'd be marketing, and then they would come to us direct. So you know, they would literally come to us for looking for the loan rather than going for a broker. Whereas obviously with a broker, you know, they've got different options that they can sort of take you to. So
But you used to go out to London quite a lot. I mean, was London an area that you're doing business and seeing people in those days, or was it just quite local?
It's more now we do.
Now
London.
we do.
Them days we didn't, unless you had like a big event, like that tie event that you'd have every now and then.
Some award ceremonies and things. But generally speaking, we didn't, because we was on the front line dealing with clients directly. We didn't really need to get out and see them. There wasn't really an element of that until we sort of moved into the broker world. And it become a lot more important.
And that's when we now meet clients and face to face in our office, or go to London and meet them in their office. So it's got a bit more exciting. You can get out a bit more as well.
So you were there for 4 years, right, together, so working side by side. So what made you think that you're going to sort of go and do your own thing? What is it? I mean, you know, I can tell already. You know, you're quite sort of, you know, you're always about you're scaling up and you want to do things. And was it you sort of saw things that you maybe you put your own twist on? And
I mean, it's a few different things from again career progression with yourselves, but more so with our clients. Built up a good client base, and the market was changing, ever changing. When we first started to boost it, there was just one of them and a few other lenders. Right, sure. So now when we got to the end, there was a lot more other lenders, and we're thinking that we can help our clients a bit better, maybe by going elsewhere. When you're working for the company, you can't say
and you're sort of, I suppose you're restricted when you're working for another company. Exactly, you know, you're restricted by the amount of lenders, or I'm not saying products, you have to be creative is the wrong word, but I suppose if you have more products that you can go to, more lenders, more ability to have something that may be flexible for a client. When you're stuck with a company, that's not always an easy thing to do, is it? When you're not in charge, was that what we were right in saying that?
Exactly. I mean, every lender out there has got their own niche as such. If they're all the same, then there wouldn't be enough business to go around.
Well, that was it, wasn't it? There was one product that's effectively what we were selling really there, and you know, there was a lot of different other products out there for different things, you know, such as invoice finance, asset finance.
Of course.
And this was purely an unsecured short-term loan, which was great for the clients that needed it, but there was a lot of other things that we was able to market for as well. So.
And did you compete against each other when you were working side by side there? I mean,
friendly competition.
I mean,
it helped us do better, didn't it?
We did,
How do what you done? Oh no.
It was friendly. It's funny because we was always quite neck and neck a lot of the time, weren't we? We'd always, I think,
always be very close.
I mean, you got a competitive side. I mean, you're both into sports in your earlier years, and you were both competitive on that side. I mean, did you compete sport wise? I mean, was that something you were doing in your early years before you sort of got into this when you were younger? Did you compete as well? in sports? Yeah.
I did at school. It's when I used to do sort of tours in Belgium, and it's mainly at
school. Tours in Belgium for what?
Yeah, football tour. Football tour in Belgium. Just go out there and just play for like 3 or 4 games a day for like 5 days straight.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was first one to actually win it out there as well. So it was really good, exciting. But after I left school, just too much studying. Yeah. Got older, got 18. Alcohol, women.
But Craig, you were saying you were into football as well, right? Were you into football?
Yeah. I played at a pretty good standard when I was younger.
Yeah, you're not going to tell us about it, though, are you?
Well,
what position did you?
Yeah, what was it?
I was a goalkeeper. So, so I had a spell. Sort of, I nearly had trials at Southend. Didn't get a contract because of my height.
Right.
I'll say it's because of the height.
Yeah. I'm just going to blame it on it.
Yeah. No, but I played at a fairly decent standard after that as well.
Yeah.
I played for a semi-pro club.
Yeah.
But not really in the first team, in and around it, but not really in the first team. But so I've done that for a number of years.
Yeah. Still a big interest in football?
Yeah, massively. Yeah, I'm a Southend United supporter as well. So I go to.
So you stuck fast with them, yeah.
Yeah, luckily you don't know much about football.
Yeah. Absolutely fuck all, my friend.
I was about to say, how are Southend doing, Craig?
Yeah, not very well. No. So we'll swiftly move on from that.
Well, Charlie, you were saying before that you don't, the sort of you've the days of sort of football you've sort of left behind, and you're just purely business these days.
Purely business and women, yeah.
Well, not women.
One woman now.
Easy. On that note, we're going to take a very shit break. We could have a shit break. We're going to have a very quick break, and we're going to come back in a minute. All right?
Yeah, sounds good.
So we've stopped that. Yeah. So we're still recording on this. So anybody that's watching YouTube will be able to see this. And obviously not live. So we're recording. So this will go up to there. So this is like almost like the outtakes. So we have the bits here as we've gone on the break. How do you find it so far?
Yeah, it's good.
See, it's piss, isn't it?
I think I'll get a bit tongue-tied. I don't know why.
Do you?
Yeah, I do always do with these sort of things. You might
it's because you can hear yourself as well. Like, even
you're quite conscious about it.
Yeah, I always am. Yeah.
You both sound fine.
Really?
Don't worry about it. Yeah. Well, you sound a bit weird, but no, I'm joking.
No, you don't. Some of the things I'm saying, oh God, did I just say that?
Yeah, you see, you don't think about it. You see, wouldn't if you have a normal. This is a normal conversation. We just happen to be recording it. That's all.
Yeah,
and that's what I prefer it to be, really. Because if it was a little bit, if it's too calculated and like question it, it's like it just sounds a little bit
real, is it?
No,
it's a bit fake.
Yeah. I mean, I've taken a few little notes down which I sort of bring in, but I mean, otherwise, I just prefer it to be like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get my glass of water very quickly. Just bear me 1 minute. I don't know what I did with that actually. To leave it in the other room.
Nervous?
Not really. Considering I've got big ears, these keep slipping off my big ears. It should be like.
You haven't got it over your head. That's why.
No, that's why. Is that why? There we go. That's probably why.
Have you got big ears, haven't you?
Yeah.
Not fucking big.
Oh, all right. Stop it.
I'm getting worried about you two.
Charlie, you've got lovely little ears.
Why, thank you.
Well, cheers, guys. Do you want to top up the water as well, by the way, before...
Yeah, might as well.
Fucking hell, you could have told me a second ago. We're back again. So everybody watching on YouTube, not a lot's going on in this break. Fuck it. All the levels right, okay, and everything so far. Producer Emma.
So the camera on you.
Yeah.
May be the tiniest bit blurry.
Oh, is it? Yeah. 1 second.
Do you want me to change?
No. It's fine. It's fine. It may well be because of this, because of the boom coming up here like this.
Might make you look a bit younger anyway.
Oh, cheers, dude. Is that any better?
Do you want me to check?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
It may well be because this was a bit closer. They automatically focus, don't they? How's that? All right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Leave that one on me then, and bring. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter to be honest. I suppose. Fuck it, whatever. Right. Ready? We're back again. It's Elliot Browne here in the Essex Business Radio studio, here with Craig Childs and Charlie Groves. Charlie's got an interesting middle name, but we're not going to say that. How you finding it, guys? All right so far?
Yeah, good.
Right,
See, you weren't nervous though, were you?
Nah, of course not.
Yeah, getting nervous. So we'll talk about being competitive, weren't we, before we took the quick break, and you you're sort of neck and neck when you were sort of working it. Look, it's good to have competition, particularly in a sales environment, isn't it? You know, did you find that sort of spurred you on sometimes? Did you ever get? I mean, I'm assuming you both were pretty top performers there, were you?
Yeah.
We was the best, weren't we? To be fair, we've done. I mean, before they had the broker team, we was doing 75% of the whole turnover just between two of us, really.
Yeah.
And even though we had that friendly competition, we also helped each other out. One of us weren't there, the other one would cover off. Do you know what I mean? You always had that friendly competition, but you'd always
It
work
did, though.
together.
It did spur us on as well, obviously, because neither of us wanted to be left behind. So if one of us was doing really well, the other one obviously wanted to catch up as well. So,
for
we
sure.
never really spoke about that, but we always...
You're speaking about it now, aren't you?
No, I know why I stayed late on them days.
We're talking about working late. I mean, do you both work quite late? I mean, did you sort of? I know we've sort of said that we don't have early mornings particularly. We're not sort of early morning risers, are we?
No.
Listen, it's quite an interesting subject because we all know the 5 a.m. club people, don't we? Yeah. We always know there's some people. I can't do that. Can you?
No, I'm the opposite. I like you said yourself earlier. I can stay up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working.
Yeah.
Once I'm in flow, I'm happy to do that. But, getting up in the mornings, I'm just not a morning person.
Yeah.
It's lucky I get in a little earlier sometimes, but sometimes we alternate.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in early, and then sometimes he's in early.
Oh, really?
But we all both stay late, and we go. We work through lunch, and when you're there and you're in the zone, you just want to do it. And it's hard to leave, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
When you get there, it's hard to leave.
Yeah, for sure. And when you were working back at Boost, I mean, did you work sort of late and stuff there? Did you sort of have that affinity of both working quite late into the evening, maybe go for a couple of drinks afterwards?
A few times, didn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Their parent company were based in the US, so that meant that if we wanted to speak to an underwriter, sometimes we'd have to, with them being based, I think, back in Miami. So because of the time difference, of course.
And I think exactly the same. I mean, I ran a company for a good few years, and Australian links, and so I was on Skype at like midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I quite like that. I quite like the international approach. But I'm assuming you're more local these days. You're sort of working, getting financing for businesses in the UK, or would you go further afield? Or
no, it's all UK, isn't it? We don't really go international, or maybe one for the future. You can never say never. Nice. Do you know what I mean? But we're trying.
We're just fucking set president.
We always try and keep it local, so we can meet our customers a lot more, do local, and then expand. But we've got clients all over the UK. We've got clients in Scotland, in Ireland. It doesn't really matter as long as because you can do most of it over the phone. But some people just like to see you in person and
put a face to the name, so to speak. So if we can get out and meet people, if they request to meet us, then we're always happy to do so. But equally, it's just as easy at times to work over the phone as well. So it comes down to what people want, really.
Has the market changed in the time you've been in it? I mean, forget raising finances for your business in different ways. Is it becoming easier, becoming more difficult? I mean,
a lot more lenders, isn't there?
There's a lot more lenders, which in essence does make it easier. It's a lot more competitive as such. I mean, it's not easier to find the right lender for the right customer sometimes because hidden stuff in the background, but you've got a lot of choice. And to be fair, the rates reflect that. I mean, mainly from where we come from, our old lender was unsecured.
Right.
I mean, when we started, the rates were ridiculous. They're factor rates at like 1.30 over 12 months. It's like 30% cost over 12 months. Now you've got the likes of like lenders, which is a branch of a bank that can do an unsecured loan for about 3.95 APR. So it's like it's on par with a mortgage essentially.
It virtually is. It is.
When you throw the fees in and things like that, the legal fees, you're actually not really paying that much more for an unsecured loan than what you would on a secured loan.
So you started your business. I mean, what was it like for finding your first clients? I mean, how difficult was that? Was it more difficult than you thought it was going to be?
It was at the start. I mean, funnily enough, the first client we had was when I changed my details on LinkedIn. Someone messaged me on LinkedIn, and there we go. That was our first client from there. So we knew we had to do the social media, the media, LinkedIn. Then we done focus more on SEO as well, didn't we?
It's quite scary, wasn't it? Obviously, taking the plunge and doing it ourselves. Obviously. Going from having leads generated for us to having to go out there and actually
it's a different beast, isn't it?
And that was probably the bit that we underestimated the most. So obviously that was probably the biggest challenge at the start, wasn't it?
I think you get a bit complacent sometimes, particularly when you've been there somewhere 4 years and you sort of think, I can do this, and you've got some great ideas, and you can possibly, almost definitely, you probably thought I can possibly do things maybe slightly better or a little more creatively, or just have a better approach to clients and things like that. But then actually doing it is a different beast, isn't it? I mean. So when you did that, I'm assuming that you've in trying to find those leads and trying to get do that. You did use LinkedIn a lot. Did you use it? Is it an area that you still utilise a lot now, in social media wise?
Yeah, I mean, we started.
I don't class. I mean, we class LinkedIn as still social media. It's not really same as.
I
mean, it is though, isn't it? Yeah.
It's social media for business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We done a few campaigns on Facebook, which we.
Did you?
Yeah, we started up with that, and we didn't really find it done too well. Mainly because obviously you get a lot more B2C clientele on there as opposed to B2B, which is why LinkedIn's work so well.
Facebook's good for very visual. If you're maybe a fence or you're doing some work where you take a picture.
Doing a fence?
If you're doing a fencing or you're doing construction work where you've
I see what you're saying, right?
You've done a job before and after. That's where it works really well. With us, it's hard to take a picture.
Spas, that sort of thing. Do you know, it has its place. I mean, at the end of the day, it depends who you're marketing to.
It very much is, and I think it's changed a hell of a lot more in the last year or so as well. And I think that as you said, the LinkedIn is becoming the Facebook of the business world. In fact, it's becoming a bit of a Facebook in a way as well, isn't it? But definitely more business to business facing.
Yes.
And for your business, obviously it's imperative, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. And like we said as well, it was for us as well, having worked for a lender. And going into the broker world, we obviously see, how a lender works, obviously how, a big corporation marketed and done that sort of thing. So we sort of took, that helped us really with regards to, we see what works, what doesn't work, so to speak. So we had a bit of visibility of that. So it sort of helped us moving forward as well. So. Yeah.
Did you become sort of good mates working together at Boost before you set the business up? I mean, that was And you've sort of sat side by side, and you,
yeah. 7 years now.
7 years, 7 year itch. But we're talking about this, and I do think it's a phrase that I want to bring up because I want to talk to you about the whole dynamics of being mates and stuff. But somebody told me once, which I said to you before the show, about mates, sort of a friendship being born from business is the right way to do it, as opposed to the other way round. If you've got a friendship first, and we all know people that have been friends, and you try and do business together, doesn't always necessarily work. But you were sort of business together, working together side by side, and a friendship was born from it. And then you thought, this sort of works, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Do you think that's a sort of healthy way? I mean,
I think as we got to know each other, obviously we was working together, got on really well all the time. But when you just meet someone, they've just got the same mindset, very similar.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people have different views all the time, but 99% of the time, we're always the same. I mean, us for now, we're nearly dressed exactly the same. Every time we go somewhere, we don't ever coordinate, but we always wear the same colour.
Similar colour shit. I didn't notice that.
It's like our work uniform without us intentionally knowing it. We're just on the same wavelength. So it's funny. It was great.
That's definitely, and it has helped, I think, obviously, us being on the same wavelength, massively, because a lot of the ideas, we both have separate ideas, but we can both see the other person's point of view quite easily. So it's sort of,
and we come back to that sort of creative and analytical side, the left brain, right brain sort of thing, and having that's a good dynamic. Having friends and being able to sort of, as you said, bounce off each other and have that, it sort of works quite well. You've both got a similar sense of humour. You both got similar drinking habits by the sounds of it.
Do you? Both bad influence on each other, aren't we?
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
What do you tend to drink when you go out? What's your drink of choice?
Start off with some ale.
Yeah.
And then get on to the good stuff.
Whiskies. Oh, your whiskies, are you? Yeah.
We've got to be at one right near the office, so we tend to sort of see that as our local, especially on Fridays. So.
Okay. Okay. And so you both drink whiskey, do you? You both whiskey drinkers?
I don't whiskey, or rum.
Yeah. Champagne occasionally.
Yeah, champagne.
Depends on how good a month it's been. Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, you've smashed your year, so I'm assuming the weekend was a bit heavy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you crack a bottle?
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. Well, dilly. No, you were talking about this. Excuse me. We were talking about this, and I don't always necessarily want to go into, I'm not going to talk about your turnover and stuff like that, because it's not, it's not a show for that. It's more interesting about you guys and about behind the business. But you have had an incredibly successful first year or two of trading, right?
Yeah. Been going for about just over 19 months, I think now, isn't it? Yeah. So first year was only sort of 6 months. Yeah. But then we've done our first full whole year. It's been great, been better than what we thought.
Yeah.
Growing all the time.
Is it better than you thought?
Yeah,
it's better than what
Did you have a goal when you set up? Did you have a goal of where you wanted to be? I know we talked about you did a lot of business at Boost. I mean that, and I spoke about this before the show. That's given you that sort of hunger to go out there and do the business? And you know, did you have a goal when you first set up?
Yeah, we had some goals and some sort of 3-year, 5-year plans.
Did you? Did you do a business plan?
Probably
I did
set
a business
too
plan.
high.
I can well imagine. I can well imagine that Charlie did the business plan. Yeah. He was like, "Let's draw some nice pictures. We make this fucking the office is going to look like this."
Focus on the website. And that was like, right, I'll do the business plan.
Hey, that's a good mix, though. That's a very good mix, to be honest. Yeah.
It worked out quite well, because I don't mind when I get into it, I'll get stuck in and get doing it. But sometimes with the marketing, I'm like, crazy. That's what I handle it. So it's good. It's a good team to do.
Yeah.
And we had the business plan, and the projections were a little bit higher, but then you reanalyse them as well when you go, and then you put them lower. Then we've done a lot better than what we thought, and even this month we've smashed it this month as well.
Yeah,
so.
it's been our best month ever. So,
good.
It's really starting to sort of. It's like the first sort of 12-18 months was really hard work getting going. I mean, obviously it wasn't easy. I mean, there was times whereby it was hard and it was good, and then we thought we had made it, and then all of a sudden the next month wasn't quite so good. And sort of
hey, listen, you take like 3 steps forward and 4 back sometimes, don't you? Sort of think, what the fuck are we doing this for? I mean, we were doing all right before.
That's exactly how it went at times as well. I think, well, what have we done? But as I say, I think getting through those hard times, you learn a lot through them as well. And as I say, now
absolutely,
I feel like the mistakes have helped us to get to where we are now.
And mate, you're still going to keep on making those, and you're still going to keep learning, aren't you?
Exactly.
So were there months in the first few, the first sort of 6 months that you did literally question why you were doing it? I mean, or have you been pretty buoyant, sort of kept on moving and kept on progressing?
Yeah, the first 6 months wasn't a question, was it? It was we done quite well as well, and we moved and was always doing it. Sometimes you're like, it's stressful because you don't know when the next pay's coming. Doing it.
And it's a horrible feeling that but you're reliant on yourselves, aren't you? I mean, you've got each other to rely on, which helps.
Yes, exactly.
And that does help. I think that probably does help. So with you guys,
sometimes hard coming, I'll be down, and they'd be like, "That's all right," they'd pick me up and the other way around.
Luckily,
we're very rarely down together.
That's exactly. If we did, we'd just go to the pub.
And he'd come back.
But this is really honest stuff. I mean, this is how business works. I mean, let's face it. Anybody that thinks, and this is a comment that I make so many times on the show, anybody that thinks that, you've got a business, it's easy, you've got loads of time, it's fucking not like that at all, is it?
No, not at all.
We've already had this. How much spare time do you guys have? I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, probably go for a drink now and then, but have you taken holidays yet? Have you had holidays in the last year or two?
A few, haven't we? But
fucking hell, what are you talking about?
Not as many as what we used to do.
Let's cut that bit, Emma, producer Emma.
It's more like, I think we've only had one each, to be fair, in the last 2 years.
I don't fucking cut it back now, I've got fun every month for a while.
I wish. You can't do that when you grow your business, can you? Because as soon as you take your foot off the pedal and stuff.
The hours, I mean, long hours as well. Obviously, before you probably took it for granted that we can do the job with regard to the actual sales role and the relationship management and placing the deals, but it's all of the stuff that comes in the back, like the financials, the accounting and the marketing and the forecasting and that side of things. And
the whole scaling the business with the process and systems to make your life easier. Because we've all
you're learning this as well, of course. It's the first business you've had yourselves as well, so there's a big learning curve there.
Yeah, it's massive.
And you've had a coach as well. I think we'll have a little talk about that in a second, because I think it's a good thing, for people to understand that if you get the right one, it can be really, really useful. So if you're happy to chat about that, we'll come back to it in a minute.
No problem.
Nice one. Cool. See, it flows well, doesn't it?
That's good.
I'm good. It
just gets easier.
I think we're practicing about 20 shows in. I think I'm getting the hang of this now. No, it's good. It's good to sort of reminisce about these things as well, isn't it? I mean, we could have gone back a bit further with you guys, to be honest. But I think I thought on this one, whereas when you've got one person, you've got a journey to go over. I think it's important to understand how the dynamics of two people working together works as well. And clearly, obviously, two guys that get on very, very well as well. That's good. Be interesting to see when you do fall out, how you deal with that. But if you just go down the fucking pub, it doesn't really matter, does it?
That's it. Yeah.
Is that literally how you deal with it?
We've never fallen out.
No, really?
Everyone's always questions that as well, don't they? It's like, said we've never had.
The thing is, right, and I can tell this from spending a bit of time with you. You're very similar, but you're very different. There's a very different side to you both as well.
Yeah.
You're a little more reserved on one way, but you're not on the other. It's sort of being analytical. You're quite creative as well. It's an interesting dynamic to watch the two of you together actually, and I can see why the success is there and it works well together. So kudos to what you're doing. To be honest, yeah. I can't blow any more.
Start a show together, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Fuck off. See, I told you that laughing, didn't I?
Especially
I know you're same as mine. My levels are right down, so they got used to mine. I was peaking straight away every time I laughed. But so we'll talk about the coach. I think it is, and it's interesting that you had a coach that worked with you both together as well. Of course,
We to be fair, we got a coach very early on.
Did you?
Which is quite. Well, I say unusual. Sometimes it's unusual. You have it maybe when you're more down the road and scaling up. But
it depends what your mindset is, and let's cover that in a second because I work with a couple of guys, early 20s, turning over just under 1.4 million. We did their figures on Amazon, selling video games and stuff like that, literally, and they were fucking left university May last year.
Really?
Wow.
They were doing the business on mobile phones.
Wow.
And you guys, if you're watching, you know who you are. And they've got me in, but not as a coach necessarily, more as a consultant. But I suppose I helped to coach them a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But they're smashing it. We're going to double their turnover this coming year, which is fair play to them.
Yeah.
And they've only just got laptops to start running the business as a proper business.
Yeah. That's what happens because when you've not dealt with a business, you start building it and you're like, whoa, this is good, it's scalable. You do need someone with that experience sometimes, and it helps you. And
to give you a bit of structure, I think, isn't it?
Some people think it's too proud or you don't need help, but everyone needs help. Everyone's there to learn.
I think if you're
learn from the best, and if you've been through it,
absolutely, There's and that's the thing, isn't it? Learning from others, is a big key point in moving forward. If you think you know the best, and you know everything. Then you're a fool, because there's the guys that are still these top. Richard Branson will still be learning from somebody. Everybody learns from somebody, and whether it be through books, whether it be through some other form, you're constantly learning. I learn every day. Every day I speak to people, whether it be in the business or here. I constantly learn, and I love that. I'm like a fucking sponge.
Actually, funnily enough, the business coach we had, he'd often say, he'd bring in books and recommend books for us all to read.
And do you read?
It helps.
Constantly reading.
Really?
Reading all the time.
I fucking can't do that. Can't do the reading.
I can read, but then after.
Oh no, I can fucking read. I say I can't read.
Sometimes you fall asleep. But no, when you read a good book, especially business books, as well. I don't read all the fiction usually.
I see what you mean.
Self-help business book,
actually gets right into it. You struggle to put it down essentially, and you're always learning from it. And
motivates you sometimes. As well,
that's what we found. Even with the coaching, we'd do it even only just once or twice a month, and then you'd go and you'd come out and you'd have all these ideas and you'd be motivated. You're like, let's get back to work.
There's days whereby we're like, I don't want to go coach today. And being completely honest, there was days we're like, I could do without this. We're busy, we've got a lot on, and things weren't necessarily always going well, or even if things were going well, we'd come and we'd go there not really being up for it, and then we'd come out and it would just
get all fired up again. It does help, doesn't it?
It really does, and it sort of kicks you on, gives you that extra motivation to sort of go again. And it's obviously. Our coach also spoke about it quite often as well. It can be quite lonely. Being in business,
it's a constant thing that's talked about more openly now, to be honest. And we talk about it, and we have done on a few shows. But let's cover that in a little while, because at the moment YouTube are getting quite a bit of content here. We start charging for it. Did you stop this time, producer Emma?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, should we start again? Let's go for the third quarter.
Quick.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
I wonder if the old Statham will get hits on this.
Oh, so looks like Jason Statham. Every time I go out, everyone's out, everyone's chatting, and then randomly someone's looking at me. I'm like, "All right, mate, can I have a He's like, Jason Statham." I'll go away.
That happens a lot.
I can see that it would actually. Yeah.
Especially when I go out in London, I get it quite a bit as well.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah. Obviously, I hate it, of course.
Oh yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
He does.
What, because you're getting more attention than he is?
He didn't believe me. This started happening years ago, and he didn't believe me. I come into work one day, and I was like, "Look, he's like, where the weekend?" Said I look like Jason Statham. I was like, "Fuck off!" No, he didn't. And then obviously it's.
But you do look a bit like it. To be fair, I
didn't used to believe it myself. I was like, "Shut up!" No, I don't.
Yeah, now you love it, don't you?
Yeah, now I do.
you buy your clothes from the same place as well now?
I'll go on Google. So what's he wearing?
Yeah, what's he wearing? Yeah, wear exactly the same outfit. I'm going, look, this is me. Look. So when did you move from Southend then? I mean, when you moved over to Chelmsford?
It must be about 4 years. Funnily enough, actually, I moved on the 31st of Jan 16. I remember.
Okay.
So it's literally like been 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Now, yeah. So my ex-girlfriend, I lived, sort of moved in with her. She was up here. I was in Southend. I worked with her as well. So
right. Oh,
work
okay.
was up here, so it just made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To sort of move up here. Like, everything was up here, and I've sort of stayed up here ever since, really.
Yeah.
And I probably will going forward, as I say, now that the business is here. It's
a
really nice city.
It's a nice place to be. I haven't been to Chelmsford for years. Genuinely, I haven't been there for years. But I keep threatening to go out. Now I've got a really bloody good reason to go out there, to be honest. But it is a good night. It's a good night out, isn't it?
Yeah, even just generally, there's a lot of restaurants.
And there is, I mean, the bit where the water is, and around that bit, it's got quite nice there. Yeah, but shops and things are good. It's got quite a nice feel to the sort of city. It is a city, isn't it?
It's a city now. Yeah, I think it's the last place in the UK to be granted city.
Oh, was it?
Well,
is that down to the population, I'm assuming, as opposed to a fucking cathedral? Because there's no cathedral there, is there?
There is a cathedral.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people think there isn't, but I think there is one. Yeah.
I did not know that. Well, there's a cathedral here in Brentwood.
Oh, is there?
This looks like a church. We tend to think of a cathedral as being a huge building, don't you?
Yeah.
Because it used to be like cities were cathedral city. Yeah. But okay. And your family, where's your family from? Are they sort of Southend as well?
Yeah,
you're sort of
down in Lee. They live so.
Yeah.
They all live
okay, Lee. So not Southend so much. So you're on the posh end.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, Eastwood, Lee on Sea. So it's around.
It's still the posh. It's the posh end, still, isn't it?
I should. Yeah, I'm underselling myself there.
Yeah.
It's the posh end.
So Southend is when my friend came over, we took him down to Southend.
Oh, okay.
And he's like California and fucking Florida, isn't he? So
Southend was he?
We love it. Obviously, we love Southend and everywhere around Essex, don't we?
Of course.
No, he's back. Good wee?
Oh, it was
feel better now.
Yeah, much better.
Good. I feel. Right, we ready to crack on?
Yeah.
So we're back again. Elliot Browne here, Essex Business Radio studio with Craig Childs and Charlie Groves. Why have I just forgotten the business name?
Elite Business
Funding. EBF.
EBF.
So I was thinking of the EBF and I was thinking, what's it stand for? Fucking how bad of me is that? Yeah. Fucking amateurs. So we before we sort of got to the last little break, we were talking about a business coach. You had a business coach on. You talked about this. You had a business coach on from quite early on. Well, you must have had a business coach on from your first few months, right?
Yeah, was it? I think it was 5 months in.
Yeah, I think
not even that. Probably a bit less than that, because I mean, we met our business coach at networking as well.
Okay.
So BNI networking.
Yeah,
we went to that as well, and to be fair, we didn't have much money coming. Didn't really know where it was going.
It was a big outgoing for us.
It is.
It really was a really big commitment, because it was a 12-month course that we decided to do. We went on a taster session, a 3-day sort of boot camp, and really enjoyed that, and saw the benefit in it.
You do, you pick a lot up in those. Well, that's the whole idea of them, isn't it? Yeah. Give you a little taster, give you a lot of value, and then say, but you're gonna work with me, and I'll give you even more value.
But not only that, it was the person the actual coach, or Marcel himself, was just when someone just keeps you engaged. Not only that, but he explains it very well that everyone in the room can understand.
Sure.
And if someone's not understanding or they've got a question, he just keeps asking questions to get down to the real question. It's pretty amazing how you do it. And just from watching that and meeting other people, you learn a lot about yourself.
Very engaging,
as well.
He's sort of very good at sort of drilling down into things, and making you come up with the answers. So.
I mean, to have that very, very early on as well. I mean, that was good, because it must have helped you with processes and structure for the business, which is one of the biggest things you have to get right. It's okay doing it sort of ad hoc and sort of building a business and just doing sales and things like that, but having something that's scalable and definitely you guys love a startup. You love that scalability, don't you? And you've got big growth plans. I can tell. It matters a lot to get that structure and stuff in place, right?
Yeah, well, it didn't. I mean, at a young age of the business, it helps as well, because when you get we've seen it before, if you grow too quick or you don't have the process systems, by the time you get that big, it's a lot harder to then do it. But not only for us personally, but for everything we learned about the business coach helped us with our clients as well when
Right.
speaking to clients.
Yeah, dealing with them,
and saying, "Oh, have you
not
thought
being
about
too
this?"
salesy as well. That's a big thing, isn't it?
They may say, "Oh, we need money from marketing or doing this," or they may. Whenever we're speaking to a client, we like to find out the exact reasons for the funding, because then when you're speaking to lenders, it helps with them getting comfortable, saying, "I can see this business going," and they could be use it to make more money. So
and understanding their challenges as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So we, obviously, by us going through that process as well, we understand that their issues might be slightly different to what we're experiencing, so to speak. So we need a business coach for ourselves, but also our clients. If they're dealing with stock and understanding the process behind stock and that side of it, I think it was sort of double-fold for ourselves and for our clients.
So do you think that you've become more consultative in doing what you're doing because of the way you ask the questions and you find out? I mean,
Definitely.
you spent a bit of time with me. I before that I was asking a lot of questions about you because I'm just genuinely interested.
Yeah.
And when you are genuinely interested in your potential clients, we'll call them, because the clients, you're always interested in them anyway. Yeah. But in doing that and showing that ability to want to know, that's what warms people to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you learned a lot of that about the coach, because I'm assuming you're probably a bit more selly before, were you, when you were in the other one? Because when it's not yours, it's a numbers game, maybe a little bit more.
And you've got the one product, you have to sort of be selling. You've got to stage which is sort of second nature. But with this, to actually know
nurture
what product,
as well,
nurture exactly. I mean, they may come in looking for one product, and we might ask questions. Go, well, that could work, but you know what? There's a better option, because you're asking these questions. You get down to the root cause, issue or root growth aspect of their business, and how you can better not sell, but how you can better advise them on what's best to do.
And that's certainly why I'd say we consider ourselves more consultants rather than brokers.
Yes.
Because brokers got that attachment of,
for sure,
you're just trying to get them a deal, whereas us, we're going, well, no, let's have a look, let's find out about your business.
Yeah.
Have you thought about this product? Have you thought about that product? It can help you sort of grow your business.
Yeah.
And with cash flow being the biggest issue with a lot of businesses, certain products fit better with that cash flow rather than, say, a term loan. Maybe an overdraft would be a better option. So
absolutely. And I think that's why I warmed to you when I was talking to you. I didn't really talk to you as much, Charlie, to be fair. I mean, I definitely got to know you in the last hour or something. But when I spoke to you, it was a different approach. I mean, we were just talking about stuff, but I've met people that do what you guys do, and they're straight in, almost like a sell, and I fucking hate that. I hate people go straight in with a sell. That's not the way to do it anymore. That is not the. Hey, you want to get some quick business and one deal, you might do it.
And that's
but you won't. But and then longevity, and that's important when you want to scale a business up, isn't it?
We just tell them what the options are, pros and cons for each, and we say, look, you choose what one's best for you. We'll say, look, if I think this is best for you, in my opinion, but it's totally up to you, and you tell them the pros and cons and let them make the decision. You don't especially when it comes to a business loan for business, it's a very important and very big decision to make. And if you push someone into making the wrong decision or pressure them, then it can affect their business a lot. And all brokers, in my opinion, should be there to help businesses grow and assist rather than just trying to get them some cash. And just getting a quick bang out of it.
And we're very sort of careful with that as well. When if the interest rate is high for whatever reason, we're very upfront. We make sure that we tell them all the upfront fees, because we want them to know, we want them to be informed, because that
being
way
transparent, mate, is fucking key, isn't it?
And it's trust. It comes down to trust, and then again, going back to it, the relationship as well. So
and they might only be able to get a high rate loan, and they may want to take it, but we might say, do you know what? It's probably not the best one for you. If you do this and do this, and you come back in 3 to 6 months, you get a better rate. So instead of getting the win there, they're like, oh, I like that, and they come back, and you're actually helping them and helping them grow.
Absolutely,
it feels good for us as well. So, to be able to help them, and a lot of our clients that we, that do, and a lot of our clients do come back to us time and time again. I'd say. I mean, I haven't actually looked at the stats on that, but it's probably the vast majority of them, and our relationship with them is growing all the time. We're on first name terms. It's not this formality of having to pick up the phone. Sometimes, we're happy to deal with them on text message if they prefer. That sort of thing.
You've got to be adaptable these days to your small business owner and small to medium. Well, they're all small business owners. The guys that you're dealing with, companies of, what the sort of turnovers you're dealing with. What is
from a few 100,000 up to sort of 20-30 mil.
So still classed in the small business arena. You sounds like a lot of money to people that aren't in business necessarily, but that is the small business arena. For sure. And a massive untapped market, I think, to be fair, in what you're doing. I know there's a lot of people going after it now, but establishing those relationships is key in sort of helping your business grow, and you're helping theirs to grow. Goes hand in hand, doesn't it? Really?
Course, yeah,
exactly. It is a competitive market, but I find it's not competitive for good brokers essentially.
Yeah.
So, and brokers are looking, and we're not really brokers, we're more consultants, aren't we?
Yeah,
definitely. I'd say that's
Definitely,
the way we are, really more consulting rather than broking, because some people might just say, we've got you an offer on the table, where we don't want to do that. We want to get them the best offer.
Yeah.
So sometimes we might be a little bit more thorough. So to
yeah.
speak, than...
Yeah. I mean, and you're saying about understanding their business, stock levels and things like that. Now, this is something I questioned before the show, because I was in import export for many years, and know a lot of people that hold a certain amount of stock. Let's have a quick chat about that subject, because I think it's important for people to understand that there are different ways of doing things that are going to potentially help your business, and sometimes amortizing, if people don't know what amortizing is, it's when you write down things that, let's say, computers or table desks or whatever it may well be, in an office building, in a business. A lot of people just write these things off the books because they just want to get it off, don't they? But it isn't always the best way of doing things. Am I right in saying that?
No, it's just not all the ways. I mean, it depends on what you're looking to do and where you're looking to go and grow, and we give advice on how to get a business loan. So sometimes you're looking for, especially for the larger amounts and the longer terms, the lenders typically want to see some assets and tangible assets within the business.
Absolutely.
Just as a backup if anything goes wrong, because when we do look at mainly the more unsecured loans, they need to see that tangible. And then on the flip side of where we all want to pay less tax and reduce the profit, pay less tax, but companies want to see that affordability, and the way they look at the affordability is from the EBITDA and the existing debt compared to what they've got in their profits. Sometimes it can have a negative effect when trying to grow and scale.
It can be a double-edged sword. Sometimes you want to keep your profits a little bit lower. But then obviously if you're keeping your profits lower, then I
think it's short-sighted keeping the profits lower. Personally, I mean, it depends on what sort of business person you are, and whether you want a business that's scalable, whether you want to exit from your business or you want a legacy business. And if people don't understand what that is, a legacy business is where you want to maybe hand it down to across to somebody or your children or whatever. Legacy, obviously. Exits in, obviously, maybe if you want an exit plan. If you want an exit plan that is tangible, then you want to get your business to a point where it's worth quite a lot of money, so you get the best thing from it. And it's not just the person in the business, it's the business itself that stands without you in it. Would you say that's the right way of explaining it?
The brand, the reputation.
It goes back to what our business coach taught us. When you're starting out, like even now, we probably consider ourselves still as classed as self-employed. Because until the business is running without you, it's not really a business.
It's a very good point as well. And it's a very realistic point, the way you look at it as well. I can see you're very pragmatic like that, and I think it is the right way to have that sort of that sort of mindset of building your business. When do you think you're going to get to the point where you think you're employed by the business and you're scaling up to the next level?
I think by the end of this year,
I was going to say that.
When we can actually leave the business, both of us or one of us, and go away and it's still running, that's when you've got
someone
business.
doing the sales,
autonomous in essence.
And again, that helps with us scaling, because then we can go out and focus on the partnerships to be able to generate more business, and it's sort of like a cog.
Then you can go on your 5 holidays a year. So what are you aiming for? What are your goals? I mean, you must have some good business goals. Do you have personal goals, either of you? Have you got anything that you're aiming towards? Do you have a mood board, if they call mood boards?
Vision board.
Vision boards, not fucking mood board. That's when you're decorating, isn't it? I'm just going to go for greys. Or grey and blue, maybe. And anybody that's listening to this, you want to check out the YouTube video, because you were saying about wearing similar clothes. You've sort of almost got that going on, haven't you?
Not intentional.
Whatever. But no, are you sort of materialistic? Do you have any sort of goals and things like that, either of you, that you're sort of aiming for?
We do have goals, don't we? Yeah, you've got to have goals to know where you're going and where you're heading, and something to work towards, essentially. Goals will always change, aren't they, essentially? But
but obviously going back to the coaching, obviously you have to set your sort of goals. It gives you sort of motivation.
That's why I was sort of asking if did he sort of put in place sort of something, so you sort of aim towards that?
The way it works is you do sort of a 5-year plan. You break that down into a 1-year plan. Then a 6-month plan. Then a 3-month. Then a 1 month. And you break it down, so it basically tells you what to do in the business to get to that stage.
It gives you a target to aim towards, and obviously when you hit that, again, it gives you motivation. And then you're like, oh great, you don't want to fall behind with that. So
do you like, in essence, reverse engineer? So you set yourself there and you sort of work it back to how much work you've got to do to get to that, as you said, week by week, month by month, year on year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes, especially when you start your own business, we didn't realise this before we started. We thought, we better do it really easy. We're good at selling, but
of course you do.
Nice and simple. You
wouldn't do it.
Selling and running a business are two totally different things, aren't they?
you get in, you've got so much to do, and it's just a case of your head's all over the place. Where do you start?
It's a bit overwhelming at times. You've got all these different things to do, and it does literally sometimes you're like, where do I start?
And that's how we're reversing it and going down, breaks it down, and you do these bits, cross them off, and even writing lists. I used to hate it with my girlfriend. She'd go, let's write a list. Oh, just go with the flow. But now I'm like, I've got to write a list every time.
We got lists of lists.
I've never used to be a planner, but now I'm like, I've got a plan.
Really? Mr. Analytical over it. Really weren't.
Because I was always analytical and everything else.
You just did it.
I just want to live life and just go with flow. You always doing lists and ticking off for that.
It's interesting that you've picked all those bits up, and I think in understanding that's how you can help other people as well. As you said a minute ago, and I think it's very important that it isn't always about raising something right now. I mean, struggle for a little bit longer, get certain things put in place, and you could then get the funding you absolutely need to take the next level on. But understanding that process yourself and going through it, that does help you, doesn't it?
Exactly that.
Something I've always said as well is that you've learned on the ground. You've learned from the ground up. You haven't just suddenly come into this and you've just done really well, or but you're just the CEOs of a company that does really well. You know it from the ground up, don't you?
Well, when we was at Boost Capital, that's where we learned, because we was dealing with new business, different businesses, and you're talking to them, and essentially we've learned from all our clients over the years. Everything we've learned and we know essentially is from our clients. Okay, we've done staging and other experiences as well, but as much as we're teaching our clients now what we know about the finance industry, we're constantly learning about their different industries, their different businesses, and that knowledge helps us to better advise them on what type of finance helps them.
It's been twofold, isn't it? That's been a really big thing for us, because we know, obviously, particularly the newer businesses we're dealing with, we've been there now. So, as that evolves, we know what their struggles that they're going through, with sort of cash flow, working capital, and wanting to grow, and what they're thinking of, for example, if they're wanting to employ someone, we're getting to that stage where we're having the same sort of issues, or not necessarily issues as
but the same challenges.
Challenges.
Challenges better than issues.
Challenges.
Issue sounds fucking wrong, doesn't it? You got fucking issues. No, I've got challenges.
That's it.
We're fucking flying through this, mate. I mean, guys, this is literally flying through. We're gonna take a very short, the last sort of break, and then we're gonna have a little. Cards Against Humanity, don't you?
Yeah.
We're not going to play it properly, but we're gonna randomly take some cards. We'll have a little laugh in the last little quarter that we're gonna do, so we'll be back in a moment.
Sounds good. Cheers.
How's it going, Emma?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll run you through some stuff at the end.
Yeah, no problem at all. So dynamics, friendship, we've sort of covered quite a lot of stuff.
Quite good,
It's
good, it just flows.
Flowing,
I was thinking, is he going to tell us what we've got to prepare? I need to prepare something. It's better when it just flows.
Weirdly, really. I mean, when the first email you may have had, which was quite early on, we did actually look to have more of a structure to it, but I tried doing it. It didn't fucking work.
There's too many stops and starts, essentially.
Tangent.
I seem to have a get out of any awkward silences, or if I find something else to talk about, or I find something you're talking about and pull it out of it. It just, I seem to just sort of found my flow in doing it. But it just flows better. It's more natural, isn't it? As I said, it's not an interview; it's a chat, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And that's where, I wouldn't be surprised if we've had people that are getting business off the back of doing a couple of these already. I wouldn't be surprised if people hear this and talk to you about it, because it's good that you both come across, and that it's very real, and that you're going through it, and you're not afraid to talk about the things that you've sort of done to help your business as well. I think that's we don't talk about this, is probably the most business we've talked about, but I think it's important because the financial side is a big way of helping small businesses to grow. And coming from real guys, because I think there's a lot of people wary about people in your industry because they're just fucking trying to sell money to them.
It is high interest, and we used to see that, didn't we? Because we obviously working for a lender, brokers would go to them, and we'd see some of the brokers come in, and they would
whack up their fee, and it'd make it more expensive to the client.
And then the client would see clients default as a result of them being charged too high interest.
Yeah, and just being pushed down a fucking down a path where it doesn't really suit them. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and then we're not saying there's a lot of brokers like that because there's not. They're few and far between. There's a lot more good, better brokers out there.
Yeah, you're being diplomatic. Now,
yeah,
aren't you?
but there is.
There's a lot of really good brokers. We're the best.
but that's if we didn't see that, that's probably what gave us a bit of a kick because we saw some of the brokers thinking, well, hold on, they're treating our clients badly.
Yeah,
we can go in and there's a niche in the market.
Yeah,
didn't realise there was a lot of really good brokers as well.
But. Yeah, that's exactly it, wasn't it? Because we was thinking, oh, they're all awful. We can do so much better than this. And then there's
a load of good ones as well.
Shit, what have we done?
I wasn't expecting this.
Right, we were talking about before we crack on. So have you not got like cars and things that you're fucking aiming for? Have you not got Lamborghinis? You're not like that at all.
I've got one thing I'm aiming for.
Oh yeah,
a yacht.
Yeah,
mate.
That's as soon as
I fucking love boats.
Do you?
Oh.
Yeah. I really want a yacht. That's when I made it when I got a yacht.
Yes.
I'm not made it until I got a yacht.
Yeah. So let's cover that. What about you? Is there anything you're
yeah. I mean, obviously I've got a range at the moment, so that's all right. But I want to sound a bit better than that.
Yeah.
Lamborghini, I wouldn't mind Aston Martin.
Yeah.
I do like. I'm quite into the cars. So.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind a car. Obviously, I've actually got a mortgage at the moment because at the time I was literally about to get a mortgage when obviously we started the business.
Yeah.
So it was one of them. I was like, I could have done both at the same time, but would have put a bit too much pressure on. I think.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad I didn't now.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, no, you know what? I'm going with the business route. And
Yeah.
I can do that at a later time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's no real rush.
Sensible.
That's not a goal. That's not a goal because I want him to have a mortgage. He
of
sacrificed
course.
that for us. So
Yeah.
When he gets a mortgage, he's got my own goal.
That's
Yeah.
That's a nice comment.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, look at that. I'm pleased we got that on camera. I've just fallen in love with you both now. Joe, that's genuinely kudos to you both. I mean, that's really nice, really lovely. What a moment we had.
Yeah,
got a bit emotional.
I know. I'm trying to feel a little bit.
Right, you're not getting a mortgage now. More Melon.
So I'll come and live on your yacht.
Yeah. That's it. Fuck the house.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, right. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we still got camera anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, we going? Oh, we're recording.
Just.
Oi! Well, we're recording again. It's Elliot Browne here, Essex Business Radio, here with Craig and Charlie from Elite Business Funding. So I remembered it that time, didn't I?
Yes.
I got EBF in my head and I was like, I look at it as EBR, so anyway, whatever. In that break, I mean, people that were watching on YouTube, we've got a few bits there about a little moment you guys just had.
Yeah.
We were talking about, aiming for. Do you want some more water there, didn't you?
I'll be right.
You know what you're aiming for. You and Charlie, you want a yacht, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. What sort of boat you after? With sails or your motor?
No, a proper yacht.
A proper yacht.
5-10 million yacht. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sunseeker.
Yeah, that's it. Sunseekers, that's it. Or Bournemouth Sunseekers.
Yeah, and your mortgage you're going for, right? You're going to be there.
Yeah.
And the moment we had was when Charlie was one of his goals was when you get your mortgage because you sort of sacrificed buying that to help to in essence be in a position to set the business up, right?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Effectively. Yeah.
I mean those are the sort of sacrifices that you sort of make in business, and as I said, what a moment we just had between us as well.
Yeah.
It's one of our main goals to get him on the housing market as soon as we can because he did sacrifice it for us. I was lucky enough to get on a year or two before we left. And he was going for that, but he wanted to. Yeah,
and as I say, it was the opportunity to do that just before I left employment.
Yeah.
But as I say, I'm so glad looking back that I didn't do that because I was considering it.
Yeah,
One stage I was going, I'm going to get a mortgage first, and then we'll start the business. And I think if I'd have done that at the same time as starting the business, then it would have been a bad idea. So.
Yeah.
It's a very stressful time buying a house. Isn't it?
Well, and setting the business up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think setting up business up's not as stressful, to be honest. More in trouble.
So where did your love of boats come from, Charlie? Have you just want a yacht because it's just a game?
But I love fishing as well. So
you were saying earlier on,
fishing off my yacht, and mainly just because with a yacht you can go anywhere.
You can.
It's because you watched The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah, that too.
Try and do it in a different way to that guy. Yeah. Although he ain't done bad, to be fair, is he? Did you see him? Because he was in Chelmsford last year. Was it last year? He was in Chelmsford.
Five Lakes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Five Lakes. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see it, but we some people we knew saw it. So it was quite
I know a couple of people went to go and see him. He's an interesting guy. You know, he's raised finance and money and not a dissimilar industry, I suppose, but it's changed a bit since then.
Because of him.
Well, I mean, you know, that's how industries do get changed, isn't it? You know, people find creative ways of doing things, and unfortunately ruin it for everybody else. But no, they don't. But it does change things. Yeah. So they've got the goals there. We're gonna have a little game of Cards Against Humanity. So, but we don't play it the normal way. So we've got anybody. I'll have to run this through because in case people aren't watching on YouTube and don't know the game, but we've got a small pack of black cards in here, which have been messed about a little bit. There are some phrases which have got spaces or questions maybe. So if you want to take that, Charlie, and give it a little shuffle, and
it's going to go everywhere now.
No, well, he has been shuffled before, to be honest. But randomly pick a black card, and then Craig, you randomly pick a black card as well. And then either way, you've got 1, 2, 3 spaces. You need to pick a white card as well. So we've got those as well. Now, people don't know Cards Against Humanity. If you want to send us a pack of these, then please do so. It's a bit of sponsorship fucking plug in there. Yeah. So you both got that. How many spaces you got before? Don't read it out yet. How many spaces you got? 2. Okay, so you want to randomly pick 2 white cards.
Oh god.
Yeah, and Craig, how many spaces you got?
Just got the 1.
Now we've got producer Emma in today. How you doing, Emma? You going all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's keeping quiet. You're going to switch the mic on. You're going to say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Are you gonna have a game? You gonna pick a card as well? Yeah. So take that pack there and take a card out of there as well. Now, obviously, how are we looking?
It's not too bad.
Oh, really? What's yours like?
Yeah.
Now, is it before we do it? Is it politically okay? I mean, we've got because
probably not.
Oh, really? How bad?
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, okay. Right, fine.
It depends what the black one says. Well, You've got to show me the white one.
Okay, so I'm gonna do exactly the same. I'm gonna pick one as well. How many spaces you got, Emma? 1. So anyone we'll take a white card, and I'm going to randomly pick a black card as well. Now, this is obviously great radio stuff. This, isn't it? When you're picking fucking cards out. Yeah. But Charlie, read us your black card and with the spaces in it. So whatever space, whatever, and then do it again with the white cards. Yeah. Let's see what you've got.
My mum freaked out when she looked at my browser history and found space.com/space.
Okay. Go on, now do it with that, yeah.
Okay, my mum freaked out when she looked at my browser history and found thehose.com/Ryan Gosling riding in on a white horse.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a hell of a lot. I was wondering what it was going to be, but you'd already sort of said it wasn't too bad. So Craig, what have you got on your cards?
Call the law offices of Goldstein and Goldstein because one should have to tolerate something in the workplace.
Okay, wow, this is an interesting one, yeah, because it's quite topical as well, I suppose. But go on, isn't it? Okay, I really want to know what this is now.
Call the law offices of Goldstein and Goldstein because no one should have to tolerate mild autism in the workplace.
Okay, well, it's not too bad. That could have been way worse, knowing what cards are in there. And the name Goldstein as well, to be honest. You know what I mean? What have you got, Emma?
Watch out for this one.
Oh, really? Oh, where did you like that?
Loving you is easy because you're blank.
Okay, go on.
Do you want to guess it?
No, I don't think I could.
Right, loving you is easy because you're a vagina that leads to another dimension.
It's quite well, isn't it?
The vagina that leads to another dimension has come up a few times in this, actually, to be fair. Okay, so I've got space would be woefully incomplete without space. Now, I haven't looked at these yet, so... This is good. Okay. Intimacy problems would be woefully incomplete without blowing some dudes in an alley.
That's a good one, isn't it?
That's a really good one. Well, that's ended on a pretty good note there. To be honest, on those, that was a fucking. That's probably one of the best ones I've had so far. And if anybody's watching on and you can see the camera, I literally grabbed those randomly out of the back. I mean, that's not how the way you play the game, but we you know, it's funny. It's a funny way of doing it, isn't it? Yeah. So, have you enjoyed coming in here this evening and having a little chat about your sort of history together and building the business and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, thanks for having us.
No, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. I mean, as I said, we'd have a bit of a chat before. I now feel I know you a little bit better, and we're going to be going boat shopping together. So how much you spent? Yours was 10 million, was it? I'm not being
so
funny.
I know where to get finance for it.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's have a little chat about that later in the year. So where can everybody find you? I mean, you know, on social, you said you use social. I mean, you know, you've got LinkedIn. Obviously, you've got Craig Charles and Charlie Groves. But where on social can people find you guys?
We're more on SEO really. Social we'll pick up a little bit now.
So website wise, our
website is elitebusinessfunding.co.uk. It's quite easily done. But I mean, if you search in Google, brokers in Chelmsford, brokers in Essex, we're quite high up in there as well. So
we have a new website done at the moment. And as I say, we've started doing it. We do sort of some email marketing. LinkedIn, we're having our LinkedIn page to sort of redone to coincide with the new website.
So you guys all your branding sort of uniform across the board.
And we like to get out and do some networking where possible as well, in and around certainly the local area. We sort of started to move out into London occasionally when we can as well. So
you've been doing. I mean, you said you've been doing networking from sort of early days as well. I mean, it's I think when you're starting a small business, it's important to do that. You do find some networking work better than others. Let's be diplomatic. I mean, you met people through BNI, which has worked.
Really well.
We used a lot of people in the room as well. It was being a new business. We went in there, and as I say, you know, our web designer we met there. Our business coach we met there. Any printing and things like that, and marketing materials. You know, the graphic designer was there. So
typically people go to BNI to get business. But we did get business from it as well. So good customers we still deal with now. But like Craig said, one of the great aspects is, especially when you start with a business, you don't know who to trust when you go, or there's so many different people that offer all these services, you don't know who to go to. And if you're honest, the people that we've used that have been outside networking have been a lot worse, and we haven't stuck with them compared to the people with networking. We've stuck with them, and we will for a long time.
And that's one thing. I mean, one thing about BNI is they tend to be trusted because they work together, don't they? So you sort of, it is a trusted network.
And to do networking, you've got to be on that same open mindset. And it's very similar to people. Even though everyone's different, you've got to have that similar mindset of wanting to grow your business and wanting to help other people, because that's what networking is essentially.
Definitely. But SEO, that's where you spend your money, is it? In sort of on your, I know that you're doing some other sort of proactive campaigns. We won't need to go into that right now, but I think maybe we'll talk about that another time maybe. But SEO is where, up to date, you've found that's where you get people searching on Google for what you guys do, as opposed to social's a more difficult thing to sort of market, really. You don't go to Instagram necessarily looking for what you guys do, but you would search for it because it's a more serious business sort of element, isn't it? You know, exactly. I suppose.
Yeah, that's what we get. It's more the brand awareness as well, to make people know we're there. And like you said, if you want to find it, you go on Google, you search for it. Where we get a lot of our good customers, and that is through referrals and partnerships. And then obviously you direct people, and people like to see a presence, even if they don't know you. Everyone likes to see a presence on Google to know you're a real business as such. So
like you say, it's about people knowing where you are as well. Obviously, we touched on it earlier about us being sort of more consultants. So you know, we're not looking to go out being people's faces to sell. It's when they need finance, they're going to come to us. And
absolutely,
are, so. So.
And do you only do anything differently in your industry to others to do that? I mean, or are they all sort of doing the same sort of thing? I mean, the guys in your industry, are they using SEO a lot? Do they do work like that? Or
I think
the lenders do, don't they? A lot of the lenders do. So obviously the brokers probably do that. Some of the bigger brokers probably do that.
A lot of the big brokers do as well.
And again, obviously, you know, coming back from we base everything as if we were a lender in a way, because that's the experience we've had. So a lot of what we do is what we see lenders doing, because we've had that.
But we've done really well. Again, our guy that does it, freelance SEO. He's got us up there,
above
some of our, even like the old company we always work for, we're above them in Google.
Really?
Now. He's done an absolutely
amazing job. He's doing a good job then, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, some of the leads you get for it are not always good, and you're competing with other lenders and other brokers, etc. But it's have that brand awareness, and it's worked out really well for us.
Yeah. I mean, you've obviously found your niche in what you're doing, and you've got big goals for this year. You're looking to double what you're doing in the next sort of 12 months.
At least.
At least. I like that.
It's interesting as well because a lot of the sort of lenders and brokers are going more sort of fintech based, and I think where our niche will be.
And it's all about fucking fintech, isn't it? You know?
We like to it's that relationship.
That's
speaking
it.
to someone on the end of the phone, and there's only so much a computer can understand. And people going for the fintech because it's all about speed these days. You want it quick. But we can work quick, even though you work quicker because you learn a bit more on the front end, spend a little bit more time understanding the business so that the back end goes through nice and quickly.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can speed through the front end. You've missed that vital information, not had a good chat, and it can drag out and make complications.
I think, listen, there's a place for everybody, I suppose, isn't there? And everybody. I prefer to deal with somebody like you guys. I prefer to deal with that and see how we can have a chat, and so I learn and you develop, and that's how I prefer to work it rather than fintech. But it's a big place in the market for fintech. I mean, it's fucking growing. It's getting bigger and bigger, and the marketplace is ever changing, I suppose, isn't it? Which also keeps you on your toes, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, one of our goals is to have an app eventually one day, etc. But more of an app so that it tells them a bit about what we do, etc. And then have that person that picks up the phone and speaks to them, because some people just want to flick on the phone.
It's a case of us using the fintech, really. Obviously we want to speak to them, and then we know that we can then go to the fintech to use it on behalf of the client, because that's
a smart way of doing it. You've got the best of both worlds, haven't you?
Yeah, because then obviously the client, it's always nicer for them to be able to speak to somebody because you're reassured, as opposed to letting a computer do it that's not necessarily going to understand exactly what you're looking for. It can be the best fintech in the world, but it's not going to understand your business as much as speaking to someone on the phone. So
exactly.
We can then use that information and put it into the fintech, then that's the ideal scenario.
Well, listen, I wish you all the best of luck, and congratulations for having a big sort of end of your sort of first proper year. And good luck for 2020. I know you're going to absolutely smash it. I'm looking forward to going out and having a few drinks to celebrate as well. Which we're going to do in Chelmsford very, very soon.
What's the time? Thank you very much for having us, Elliot. It's been amazing.
Honestly, my absolute pleasure. You've been great having you guys in, and when we get you back in the summer, and I think we're going to have a little chat about some business sort of areas where we can maybe give some advice and things like that. I know that we've spoken about this before, so we'll come back and do that. If you fancy coming back and you want to do that, then we'll do that. Let's give people some advice. Let's give them some help in things, because I think there's a lot to be learned from what you guys have learned and what is out there in the marketplace that can help the right people in the right areas. So we'll do that, and when you do, maybe we'll have a few shots, shall we?
That's
it. If we get
Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks very much. Listen, there will be somewhere around this post somewhere that there will be some links, and we're going to make sure you guys can put it out on sort of social and stuff as well, like LinkedIn. But check this out. Go over onto YouTube if you haven't seen this. If you're just listening to the podcast, Essex Business Radio available at all good app stores. Thanks very much, Emma, for producing this evening.
Cheers, thank you very much.
And we're going to sign off for now. So, ciao for now, Brown Cow.
You've been listening to Essex Business Radio with your host, Elliot Browne.